Ladies and gentlemen, the Alabama Senate will now come to order. Our prayer today will be delivered by Chris McCain. Reverend McCain serves as the pastor at Grace United Methodist in Prattville and is the guest of Senator Chambliss.
Good morning. Let us pray. Gracious and loving God, we give you thanks for this day and for the privilege of gathering in this place of service. We pray for the leaders assembled here, asking that you grant them wisdom in their decisions, integrity in their work, humility in the conversations with one another. Guide them as they deliberate and lead, that their actions may seek justice, promote the common good, and serve all the people of this state. In moments of challenge or disagreement, grant patience and understanding, and remind them of the responsibility and trust placed in their care. Bless their work today, bless the communities they represent, and may we all always do everything we can to your honor and your glory. We pray these things in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Today the pledge will be led by Katie Adams. Katie attends Jasper High School and is paging for Senator Woods.
Attention, salute, pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Katie. Secretary, call the roll.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Allen, Mr. Barfoot, Mr. Beasley, Mr. Bell, Mr. Butler, Mr. Carnley, Mr. Chambliss, Mr. Chasteen, Ms. Coleman, Ms. Coleman-Madison, Mr. Elliott, Ms. Figures, Mr. Gavan, Mr. Gudger, Mr. Hatcher, Mr. Hovey, Mr. Jones, Mr. Kelly, Mr. Kitchens, Mr. Livingston, Mr. Melson, Mr. Orr, Mr. Price, Mr. Roberts, Mr. Sessions, Mr. Shillnut, Mr. Singleton, Mr. Smitherman, Mr. Stewart, Mr. Stutz, Mr. Wagner, Ms. Weaver, Mr. Williams, Mr. Woods,
Ladies and gentlemen, we have 28 senators present, which is a quorum. The Senate is ready to transact business.
Mr. President,
Senator Wagner.
move that we excuse absent senators.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. President,
Senator Wagner.
move that we dispense with the reading of the journal from the previous legislative day and that we adopt said journal.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. President,
Senator.
I ask that we allow for the introduction of bills at any point throughout the day.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered. That was bills. All right, you want to do committee reports too?
Yeah, Mr. President, I ask that we allow for the introduction of the committee reports at any point throughout the day.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered. This time, I want to recognize a special guest we have on the floor of the Senate. We have Ann Layton Lee, that is our guest intern of the Lieutenant Governor's Office. She's the daughter of Arch and Charles C. Lee, also the granddaughter of the late Secretary of the Senate, McDowell Lee. Ann Layton, if you could wave. Welcome to the Alabama Senate. Great to have you today. Also have some guests of Senator Chambliss. They're in the Senate gallery, I believe. Laura and Samuel Blackwell. Samuel is an engineering major at Auburn. War Eagle, and welcome to the Alabama Senate. Great to have you today. All right, now move on to committee reports. Secretary, call the first committee.
From the Committee on Confirmations, Senate Confirmation number 79, appointing Patricia Ann Jones to the Alabama State University Board of Trustees, receives a favorable report by a vote of 15 ayes and 0 nays.
Senator Weaver.
I move the Senate confirm Patricia Ann Jones to the Alabama State University Board of Trustees using long roll.
All right, Secretary, call the long roll.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chastain. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Melson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shellnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver.
Aye.
Mr. Williams. Mr. Woods.
28 ayes, 0 nays. Patricia Ann Jones is confirmed. All right, Secretary, call the next confirmation.
From the Committee on Confirmations, Senate Confirmation Number 80, appointing Angela Starr to the Alabama State University Board of Trustees, receives a favorable report by a vote of 15 ayes and 0 nays.
So we have several confirmations today, and I think my friend may have some
Can I be
conversation.
recognized?
Yeah, you're recognized.
All right. Senator, I want to tell you that you're doing a good job. You know, you really are. You know, I've had a chance to be on the committee before, and you allow us to have, well, I don't mean allow, but you provide. That's the way I should say it. You provide the opportunity for us to be able to meet these people and talk to them, and that's, so, you know, you can get a feel for them, you know, and I just, you know, I want to give you some flowers while you living. You know,
appreciate that.
More folks give you flowers, not you, but give people flowers while they laying in the grave, talking about he was a good person or something. So you deserve that because, you know, you have a lot of things that you work with and have to work through and whatnot. And so I just wanted to just say that in front of everybody in here that you really, really do. You put a lot of work into it, a lot of thought into it, you know, and and it shows, you know, in what we're able to get done, you know. So you just need to know that.
Well, I
know.
sure appreciate you saying that, and I think we have a great committee, and we have a lot of camaraderie in there. So I think it's just been a great year of us being able to vet all of these appointees as they've come through, and we really have had some good people come through for these boards this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I wanted to say this to you too, is that I wanted to be there at the dinner last night, but the same reason that I just walked in after the pledge was the same, not the same person, but it was the same reason why I did not be there, because I had a group of people from Birmingham who wanted to meet at this. Remember, I told you I had to go to that at 6, and the reason I came in here because I had a group of people. We have what's called Southside Baseball Organization for Avondale, all over there, and for years I coached in that. And my wife was one of the commissioners. And so they're having something this Saturday. And it was so nice of them that they drove all the way down here just to talk to me about it and to do that. So when somebody drives an hour and 20 minutes, and yes, it was 5 minutes to 9 when they walked in there, I'm gonna stop. You know, if somebody take that much time to come down here to see me, And even if it hadn't been pre-planned, I can stop a few minutes and talk to them. And so that's the way it was last night.
I certainly understand that, and I know how it is when people come down from your district, because in my office, when people come from my district and say they're from my district, they always go to the front of the line too. And, I know it's important to take care of people at home and our constituents, and
That's right.
do a great job of taking care of your people.
Well, I just wanted to say that to you, and with that, I'm going to yield back to you, Mr. President. I'm going to yield back to you.
Thank you, sir. Mr.
All right,
President,
Senator Weaver.
move that the Senate confirm Angela Starr to the Alabama State University Board of Trustees using previous role.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
28 ayes, 0 nays. Angela Starr is confirmed. Secretary, call next confirmation.
From the Committee on Confirmation, Senate Confirmation Number 78, appointing Bobby Singleton to the Alabama State University Board of Trustees, receives a favorable report by a vote of 15 ayes and 0 nays.
All right, so there's a lot of people that want to talk on this one. Is that right?
Can I be recognized first?
You're recognized.
Unless she wants to, because she's the chairman. You can go first.
No, sir, you go right ahead.
Okay. I was just going to say that, we probably need to make a substitute.
All right,
We probably need to substitute
All right,
him right here. He too busy. He got a lot of
So
work
we need
to
a
do.
substitute on this one, is
Oh,
what
he
you're
got
saying?
too much work to do. I don't think he got time to do it. He's more than qualified, but I don't think he got the time to do it. He got the minority thing and all that, and so I just think that I'm looking around and see who else graduated from Alabama State. We're gonna substitute Bobby for little Bobby for Bobby. All right, that sounds like a good one right there. That sounds like a good one. So he'll have a little link to it, but little Bobby be the one who'll be serving. Oh, well, I'm gonna yield to you, to anyone. I'll yield to you. Come right on. Let's go out there.
Mr. President,
Senator Bell.
I understand that there was a former band member at Alabama State. I think he should go back to the old days. We gotta hear some of his talent from those days in order to give that yes vote for this. I mean, surely he hadn't forgot all that talent he had years ago. I mean, Senator Roberts even agrees. I mean, I want to vote for him, but we want to hear what you did years ago. I know that's been quite a few years ago, but
Senator Bell.
I mean,
Senator Bell.
play us a tune.
Senator Bell. Mr. President.
Senator Gadger.
I agree with Senator Bell here about this. I mean, if he can't play any of the instruments, at least he could high step like he did out here in the front, at least. To do that.
He's not even listening to you.
Hey, little Bobby, do you hear what we said? I said, I agree with Senator Bell. I think all of us do. You can't play the instrument because we don't have one right now. But, what you could do is probably do some high step like you used to in that marching band right there.
Now, I really can't high step. Yeah. I would rather try to blow the instrument than to try to high step.
He does have a new hip, so, we're going to try, baby, in a minute.
All right, Senator Woods.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, back in 2018, I was a conferee in the Confirmations Committee being appointed to the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees. It was an exciting process, answered a lot of questions. When it came to this chamber for a vote, there was one person that voted against me. And it's an interesting and really interesting day for me to get to come to the microphone and talk about this. The rabbit indeed has the gun. Well, I just want to say it'll be my honor and privilege to cast my vote for this distinguished gentleman today, although he didn't afford me the same courtesy.
All right. Senator Elliott.
Mr. President, thank you. Madam Chair, I thought we kept controversial confirmations off the floor. I don't understand. This is going to be a tough one. May bog us down. I should have worn my tennis shoes, Senator. What's the time limit on debate on these confirmations?
I don't know. Senator Weaver, you ready to make a motion?
Mr. President, I just want to make sure everybody knows that there is a high stepper across the street in the Capitol, right? But I think, ladies and gentlemen, we have got confirmation that there is two high steppers, one across the street, Governor Ivey, and then we've got confirmation and photographs to prove the high stepping machine, Bobby Singleton from ASU band. Senator Weaver, please do her the honors. Yeah, but he's doing good.
Mr. President, I think that's the cutest little Bobby that we've ever seen. I think that's a great rendition for our fine senator. I think we need to move along if we can, but man.
You want to make the motion?
If we're ready, I'm so move.
All right. Favorable report using previous roll. Any
roll.
objection? All right. Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
$29 ayes, 0 nays. Senator Bobby D. Singleton is confirmed to the Alabama State University Board of Trustees. Congratulations. All right, that concludes committee reports. Now move on to motions and resolutions. Any motions or resolutions?
Mr. President.
Senator Wagner.
Resolution.
All right, Secretary read and receive the resolution.
Senate Joint Resolution number 81 by Senator Wagner commending the Coach Safely Foundation for improved standards in youth sports injury mitigation.
Mr. President.
Senator Wagner.
Adoption of the resolution.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution's adopted. Thanks, Senator Wagner. All right, Senator Allen.
Yes, sir. Got SJR?
All right, Secretary read and receive the SJR.
Senate Joint Resolution number 82 by Senators Allen and Carnley, honoring the legacy of Johnny Williams by naming the Troy University Athletic Director's suite after him.
Mr. President, if I may, I would like the first paragraph to be read. First paragraph of the SJR.
All right, Secretary, read the first paragraph.
Whereas the legacy of beloved and impactful Troy University Sports Hall of Fame member and former athletic director John David Johnny Williams will continue to be honored as Troy names its athletic director's suite at Veterans Memorial Stadium located at 211 South George Wallace Drive on the university campus after him.
Thank you. Mr. President.
Senator Allen.
Yes, sir. I would like to ask the entire body to be added to this SJR.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. President, I would like to immediate adoption.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution's adopted.
Mr. President.
Senator Orr.
I have a resolution.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the resolution, please.
Senate Joint Resolution number 83 by Senator Orr commending Mr. Jim America for his service on the Athens State University Board of Trustees.
Mr. President, I move immediate consideration of the resolution.
All right, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Resolution's adopted.
I have another resolution.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the resolution.
Senate Joint Resolution number 84 by Senators Orr and others encouraging Alabama specialty public high schools to form a consortium.
Move immediate consideration, Mr. President.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution's adopted.
Could I be recognized?
Yeah, you have a resolution?
No,
Or-
no, I was
oh.
going to compliment on his Senator Orr's resolution.
All right, you're recognized for point of personal privilege.
I think that's an outstanding. We talked a little bit here, but I want to let them know how I feel. I think that's outstanding what you trying to do with their resolution, and I think that's going to enhance their ability to be able to do a lot of things together because they have so many things in common in the approach that they take to education and the uniqueness of them. So you get a kudo and a thumbs up. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Senator Smithman. Thank you, Senator Orr. All right, Senator Bell.
Mr. President, I have a resolution.
All right, Secretary Reed, receive the resolution.
Senate Joint Resolution number 85 by Senator Bell commending Senior Trooper Hunter Woodruff as a recipient of the 2026 Alabama Legislative Meritorious Service Award for Law Enforcement.
Mr. President,
Senator Bell.
Move from immediate consideration and add all senators.
All right, any objection to adding all senators? Hearing none, so ordered. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution's adopted. Thanks, Senator Bell. Senator Carnley.
Mr. President, I have a resolution.
All right, Secretary Reed, receive the resolution, please.
Senate Joint Resolution number 86 by Senator Carnley commending retired U.S. Army Colonel Sean Thomas Prickett.
Mr. President, request all senators be added.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Immediate consideration.
All right, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Resolution's adopted.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thanks, Senator Carnley. Senator Stutz.
Mr. President, I have a resolution.
All right, Secretary Reed, receive the resolution, please.
Yeah, it's an SJR. Do we have to? Thank you, Mr. President. We've got to take care of.
All right, so I think anyone else have any motions or resolutions? Okay.
Mr. President.
Senator Shelnut.
Point of personal privilege.
You're recognized.
I just wanted to tell Senator Singleton, congratulations. Senator Singleton, I have it on good authority that you were full of hot air back in college and you played the trumpet. And I'm just glad to know that that has not changed. Congratulations, Mr. Singleton. We're waiting on some local bills, so we're just chatting here. There he is. How are you doing, Senator Gavan?
Do you want to talk about, on your point of personal privilege, when the pickleball state championship is? Might be some
I
people
think
in it.
there's a big tournament in Auburn, Opelika. They probably have about 500 or 600 players sponsored by Senator Hovey. So if you want to get out and see a bunch of athletes that are really old, you can go to Opelika this weekend. They do a great job of hosting tournaments. Senator Hovey, I've heard, is in the tournament. He's favored to win the 2.0 division. If you know anything about ratings, that's not real. That's not a lot. Senator Roberts, do you need a moment over there? I see.
Mr. President.
Senator Roberts.
I also wanted to mention, I know everybody's seen it on the news, but the SoCon tournament was held last weekend, and our Sanford Bulldogs out of Homewood, Birmingham, won the tournament, the girls' basketball, and it was a privilege to watch those games. They had to play, there were 3 teams tied for first place in the conference, and they beat all 3 of those teams to win the SoCon championship. And we'll find out on Sunday night where they'll be playing next week. So
Senator
very proud
Robert-
of the Sanford Bulldogs.
Senator Roberts, don't stop there. Brag on who was the MVP of the tournament now. Come on, don't be shy. Tell them who was the MVP.
And you took the word right out of my mouth. I wanted to say that too. Tell us, come on.
Come on, tell them.
We
Don't.
know, but they
we-
don't. Tell us.
The MVP was a freshman named Francie Morris, who's an amazing woman and also a stepdaughter.
Well, congratulations. That's great. All right, I think we're ready now for local bill. Secretary, call the first local bill.
On page 61 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 243 by Senator Smitherman regarding Jefferson County. BR pending.
Senator Chambliss.
Mr. President, I move the BR using the previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
29 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 61 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 243 by Senator Smitherman regarding Jefferson County.
Mr. President, I move final passage using the previous roll.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
29 ayes, 0 nays. Senate Bill 243 passes. All right, Secretary, call the next local bill.
On page 61 of the calendar, House Bill number 532 by Representative Ellis regarding Shelby County. BR pending.
Mr. President, I move the BR using the previous roll.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
29 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 61 of the calendar, House Bill number 532 by Representative Ellis regarding Shelby County.
Mr. President, I move final passage using the previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
29 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 532 passes.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Chambliss. This concludes local bills. Senator Wagner.
Mr. President, I have a report from the Committee on Rules.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the report from the Committee on Rules.
From the Committee on Rules, Senate Resolution number 87, Special Order Calendar. Be it resolved by the Senate of the Legislature of Alabama that immediately upon the adoption of this resolution, the following business in the order set forth below shall be the special and paramount order of business for the 22nd legislative day, taking precedence over the regular order of business or any pending or unfinished business. On page 6 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 107 by Senators Figures and Gudger regarding the Board of Funeral Services. On page 56, Senate Bill number 360 by Senator Chambliss and others regarding the Public Service Commission. On page 20, Senate Bill 265 by Senator Jones and others regarding tax abatements. On page 20, Senate Bill 270 by Senator Bell regarding electric utilities. On page 26, Senate Bill number 47 by Senator Coleman regarding child support. On page 53, Senate Bill 361 by Senator Gudger regarding dogs. On page 54, Senate Bill 337 by Senator Stutz regarding school lands. On page 61, Senate Bill number 359 by Senator Price regarding Chambers County. And on page 46, Senate Bill 292 by Senator Orr regarding real property.
Mr. President.
Senator Wagner.
Move the Senate adopt the report from the Committee on Rules using the previous roll call.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
30 ayes, 0 nays. Special order calendar is adopted. Secretary, call the first bill on the calendar.
On page 6 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 107 by Senators Figures and Gudger regarding the Board of Funeral Services.
All right, Senator Figures.
Mr. President.
Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. How are you?
Great. And you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you. This is a bill that we've already passed the BIR on, so it's up for final passage. I'd like to thank Senator Lance Bell and Senator Gudger for working with me and working out the details so that we could come to an agreement. This bill is basically about it is about the Alabama Board of Funeral Services. And what happened is that this board was subsidized by the Department of Insurance for 4 years. This vehicle provides a means by which the board would have the ability to fund the increased duties. And so many people have problems with some of our funeral homes and cemeteries around the state, and this board regulates that to make sure everybody's doing what they should be doing. Senator Bell, you have a question.
I have an amendment I'd like to offer.
All right, Secretary Reed, receive the amendment.
Amendment to Senate Bill number 107 by Senator Bell. Replace line 187 on page 7 with the following.
Senator Figures, I appreciate the hard work you've done on this bill, and I've enjoyed working with you on this bill. Meeting with the funeral homes back where I live, I've understood a lot more about this, and so support what you're doing, because if we don't do this, it's other things that's going to happen to them, and we don't want the domino effects of what's going to happen to them later. So I'm happy to support you on this, glad to reduce the amount that our funeral homes are going to have, and I'm glad you accepted this amendment, and look forward to supporting you on this, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator. You move for the adoption of the amendment using previous rule without objection.
All right, any objection?
Mr. President, may I make comments?
Yes.
All right. I've got a couple of questions. I'm going to vote and support your bill, Senator, but I do have some questions on it. Does this increase cost to the families of deceased people? Does it increase the cost of funerals? Or
There will be a small fee that will be passed on to them, which will be $10. $10 would be what they can charge. In the bill, the board has up to where they have the authority to be able to charge up to $30 should the costs escalate to that. But they can do what they need to do in terms of running the board with just $10. And that is done so that the funeral home owners won't have to pay such a high fee for their licenses. So it sort of distributes it out.
So this has to deal with the license fees that the funeral homes are having to pay now? That's by the state funeral board, is that correct?
Yes, and also the fees when a funeral home is sold and everything that has to go into, that's what Senator Lance Bell's amendment was about, that it would take it from $1,000, which really is close to the cost that it costs for them to do the whole audit and get everything in place for the sale of a funeral home. But thus far, I think they've only had like 4 of those, so they don't happen regularly, on a regular basis.
Does this have to deal with the pre-sales or the purchase of a funeral before you die type thing?
This is not pre-need.
Okay.
This has nothing to do with the pre-need.
Has nothing to do with that. Has nothing to do with
We passed that bill a few years ago.
Exactly. But this doesn't have anything or any change-ups. I know there was a lot of arguments a few years ago about who was going to oversee those monies and things like that. Does this bill have anything to deal with those matters?
No, and that's why it's taken so long. This bill was introduced by me the early part of the session, and so that we could make sure everybody understood exactly what the bill does, because some of the funeral home owners were confused. So
And some of the public is too.
But it's only going to be $10 per service.
Okay, and so the cost is minimal. The effects will be a means of maintaining stability of the funeral homes, I guess?
Yes. To do the regulations that are required. You know, we had a lot of complaints years ago. Now, this board does oversee the pre-need, but this particular bill has nothing to do with pre-need. But several years ago, we had a lot of complaints about cemeteries. In fact, one, Pinecrest Cemetery in Mobile.
Yep, I remember that.
And so I've been working on this issue with the Funeral Home Board for a number of years. So it's to make sure that when your loved ones are are taken care of, that your loved ones will be taken care of properly. We even have funeral homes, one down in Mobile, unfortunately, where it was a big problem with bodies not being where they were supposed to be,
I'm aware of those.
confusion
Yep.
of, yes. So this board will regulate that and oversee it. And I've known Mr. Charles P. Ryan, who's the executive director of this board, and he's very serious about what he does. He's very fair, and I've enjoyed working with him, and he's doing a great job with this board.
I think my main concern was to make sure that we didn't interrupt the pre-need plan on the oversight and the assurances that would be done, because those, we ran it a few years ago, those were mighty difficult to prove and to collect upon.
Yes. And like I said, we dealt with that a few years ago. So, and this is the whole thing, trying to make it go as smoothly as it can, because it's enough that a family has to go through losing a loved one than to have to deal with how their loved one was treated. But at least they have a recourse to go to this board to do the investigation and do the proper thing for that family.
Thank you for taking the time and allowing me to get a better feel for this. I appreciate it very much. Thanks for your explanation.
Thank you,
All right,
Senator.
so we're on Senator Bell's amendment right now, and I think there was a motion to adopt his amendment.
I did.
Could we have
Yeah.
further discussion first?
On the amendment?
Yes.
Okay.
On the amendment and the bill anyway, I just wanted to say thank you. How long have we been working on this bill together?
All
3 years?
session.
Oh, yeah, so total coming up for, 2 years. We talked about it 3 years ago. 2 years ago, we were trying to put it together. This year, it's finally come to the point where we
that's
got an
right.
amendment and we pulled it. And I just wanted you to say, I wanted to say from my own people back home in Coleman, Alabama, thank you for your leadership, bringing this to the floor, working with Senator Bell to help bring this fee down. And so it helps everybody, not only just the funeral homes, but also the people that's going to be one day using their services. And so I just want to say thank you for your leadership.
Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem. I appreciate that.
And besides that, I don't have anything else, Mr. President.
All right, the motion on the amendment is using previous roll. Any objection to using previous roll in the amendment? All right, well, somebody object then. Call the long roll, because there's too many. All right, call the long roll.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chasteen. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger.
100% aye.
Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Melson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shellnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver. Mr. Williams. Mr. Woods.
$27 ayes, 0 nays. Senator Bell, amendment's adopted. All right, Senator Figures.
Mr. President, yes, I move for final passage of SB 107, reading it length to be dispensed with, calling the long roll, please.
All right, Secretary, call the long roll.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler, Mr. Carnley, Mr. Chambliss, Mr. Chasteen, Ms. Coleman, Ms. Coleman Madison, Mr. Elliott, Ms. Figures, Mr. Gavan, Mr. Gudger.
Aye.
Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Melson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shelnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver. Mr. Williams. Mr. Woods.
22 ayes, 5 nays. Senate Bill 107 passes. Thank you, Senator Figures.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you to the members of the Senate who voted for this all-important bill.
All right, thank you. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 56 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 360 by Senators Chambliss and others regarding the Public Service Commission. BR pending.
Senator Chambliss.
Mr. President, I move the BR using the previous roll.
All right. There was some no's on the previous roll.
All right, we'll do the long roll.
All right, Secretary, call the long roll.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chasteen. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Melson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shelnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver. Mr. Williams. Mr. Woods.
$33 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 56 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 360 by Senator Chambliss and others regarding the Public Service Commission.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, members, we have a very important issue to come before us today, and this very important issue has risen to this level because the people of Alabama are frustrated. They're frustrated that our power rates have increased faster than most of our neighboring states, and in fact, most of the states in the United States. In 2000, we had the 13th lowest power rates in Alabama. There's a lot of reasons for that. Our waterways and hydro is a big part of that. But then in 2024, the last data that I could find, our rates have risen to 28th highest in the nation. So we've gone from 13th to 28th. That's moving in the wrong direction. If we want to look at it a little bit different, in 2000, there were only 2 southern states that had rates lower than us. We were at the bottom. Now, there's only 1 state that has rates higher than us. Again, we're moving in the wrong direction. And as a data type junkie, I look at data, and in 2000, our rates were 82% of what they were of the national average, 82% of the national average. Now our rates are 92% of the national average. We're heading in the wrong direction, and the people are frustrated by that. So what we want to do is give the power back to the people. We want to put control of these rates over time back to the people. So we have Senate Bill 360 today, the Power to the People Act. The Power to the People Act gives the people more right to vote, not less rights to vote. The Power to the People Act expands the Public Service Commission to 7 elected members corresponding with the 7 congressional districts. The Power to the People Act outlaws any more increases in power rates for the next until 2026. I'm sorry, till 2029. The Power to the People Act outlaws increases in rates until 2029. And at the same time, it allows for reductions in our power rates between now and then. So they can go down, but they cannot go up. The Power to the People Act prohibits utilities from engaging in the campaign process for PSC members. Common sense. Those regulated should not be able to influence the campaigns of those that are regulating them. The Power to the People Act prohibits utilities from using grants, lobbyist costs, and non-public safety advertising in their rate structure and allowing that to be used for setting their rates. The Power to the People Act transitions the top staff position, a bureaucratic position, to an appointed position named the Secretary of Energy. That Secretary of Energy will be in the spotlight all the time, from us as legislators, from people in the public, and certainly subject to the discretion of the governor for that person to be there. But we did put a check and a balance in that. If that secretary does not put things on the agenda that the Public Service Commission wants to and needs to deal with and the public wants, then 5 of 7 of those PSC members can override the secretary and put it on the agenda. So where we're headed is by 2030, we would have 7 elected members of the Public Service Commission, elected from all 4 corners of the state and everywhere in between. We don't have that now. We've not had that in I don't think ever, but this will force that to happen. So with that, Senator, I know you have some comments and questions. I appreciate the dialogue that we've had before we've gotten here to the floor, and I'll just yield to you.
Thank you, and thank you, Mr. President, for allowing me to dialogue. What I would like for you to do is let's go through the process of the appointments to the elected, how that's going to work. Because what I'm hearing from a lot of people out there on the streets are thinking that we're taking their right to vote away. And that could be far from the truth. This bill does not do that. It actually gives them more people to vote for and more individualized than statewide. It gives people ability to be able to be represented that weren't represented. That people from certain parts of the state who feel like, well, because of the representation is stacked in one area of the state, I don't have a voice over here in my state. This will give everybody in the state of Alabama, all 5 point whatever million people we have, a voice that they can reach out to on the Public Service Commission and be able to get questions answered just as they would do their U.S. congressmen right now.
That's correct.
That's why everybody feels that they are represented, because from the U.S. Congress position, we have 7 congressional districts that covers the entire state of Alabama, which everybody and every voting citizen is represented by a voice in Congress. This will be the same way on our Public Service Commission, giving all 5 million people, all of those who are registered to vote and non-registered voters, the ability to be able to call up Lil Bobby if they need to talk to Lil Bobby on the phone about their power bill. Right now, I don't feel like I have that for real, because I don't have someone from my area, or do I really know the person who's there? Now, I know the people. This is just me talking. I know them.
But the general public would
But the general public would feel that way, and because they might not be from my area, they don't feel they need to answer me, you know? And then what other people got to understand is that there's only a portion of this state that is covered by the Public Service Commission, because you got cooperatives that are out there that are unregulated by the Public Service Commission throughout the state that represents and give power to a lot of the people who may be saying, well, you're taking away my voice and my right to vote, okay? Because even though those of us who are not even covered, see, I'm covered by a co-op, but I still vote for the PSC members. And the PSC member doesn't even regulate my power bill.
Not your power, but other
stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Because their power is not the only thing that they regulate.
That's right.
And I think that that's where the misconception comes with a lot of our people, and thinking that power is the only thing that they do.
That's right.
Because there's railroad that they do. Your trains and your light rail and other rails and things of that nature. Waterways. Our navigable waterways that they look at. So there are several things that they look at, and power is not the only thing.
That's right.
That's why we all get a right to vote for them. And I want to say to the people who have said to me that I want to take away the right to vote, I don't think that there's no one in this body who have been on more lawsuits trying to protect the right to vote of people than Bobby Singleton's name over the last decade or so. But at the end of the day, I understand where we are and the times that we're in. So let's go through the process, so we'll make sure that the people who are out there saying that their right to vote is being taken away, let's go through that process in your bill. When the appointment by the governor would make those appointments, and I'll let you go through that process so we make sure they understand that.
Okay, so where we are now is we have 3 elected positions. Where we want to be is 7 elected positions. And in an ideal world, we just snap our fingers and we go from 3 to 7 just like that. However, we're in the middle of an election process right now. Well, we can't do anything to affect, we shouldn't do anything to affect that process. It's already in way, let's get through that. So then the 3rd member is up for election the next time. So do we upset the apple cart, or do we? So what we want to do, we want to go from 3 to 7, but we've got to phase it in over time. And there's a couple reasons for that. One is we don't want all 7 of these to come up for election at the same time. We want them to be staggered. 2, one cycle, 3 the next, 2 the next, and then it repeats, so that you have continuity of knowledge and information, and you don't have a wholesale change. So I think that's important for us to set that up. To do that, we have to go to a 6-year term. So you'd have the 2, the 3, the 2, and then that all works from now on, that rotation would stay. So to transition from 3 to 7, having all these things in consideration, what we'll do is, what the bill does is it asks the governor to select 2 people from names that the lieutenant governor, the pro tem, and the Speaker of the House submits. So the people have input on that. We give those names to the governor, or those 3 individuals give the names to the governor, and she has to select from those names. 2 will be selected for 2-year terms. So that gets us squared up with 2028. 2 will be appointed for 4-year terms. That gets us squared up with 2030. So then after that, going forward, all 7 would be elected.
Exactly.
So there's a transition process. And again, I've looked at it every way possible, and I would love to snap my fingers and do it automatically. But because of things that are already in the law, already in process, I hope the body thinks that this transition period is the right way to do it, and it has the proper checks and balances in it. So I think it's very important, and I appreciate that question.
And I think that if we weren't in election year, we probably could do some different things.
Correct.
But we've already have people who have qualified, and those people who have qualified has the right to run as they have qualified.
That's right.
And they will run and serve out their term. And then from that time they can run for re-election if they fall in one of those districts.
That's right.
That they are in. They can run for re-election. And so it doesn't stop anything from the people having the right to vote, because now after 2030, is it correct? Everybody will be running. And so you have all 7 districts through their staggered terms will be running.
That's right.
And so the people will have that right to vote.
And let me point this out. This is very, very important. The reason that we have outlawed rate increases until 2029 is when we'll have a majority of elected people on the board. Now, I think there's going to be public pressure to decrease those rates between now and then, and I think that, and we left it that they can. That is allowable. So we've prevented an increase by outlawing it, but allowing for the people to have a voice and hopefully get these rates back down to 13th in the nation like we talked about earlier.
Well, I think that this is good. You get voices from every corner of the state. There's a possibility of, because you're doing with the congressional district, you have diversity on the board, you have people who represent every sector of Alabama. All Alabamians will have a voice on this new board. And I think that because we all pay a power bill.
Right, and you said something that's very important. From every corner of the state.
Every corner of the state.
Every corner of the state should be represented on the PSC.
Every corner.
And this bill will correct that.
Yes.
It'll take a little time, but the encouragement is for those lists of names to come from all corners of the state.
Yes.
And because we are elected, Lieutenant Governor, Pro Tem, Speaker elected, I have no doubt that's going to happen. And that's going to happen soon, this summer sometime. I think all that's outlined in the bill.
I think it says, July 15th?
I believe that's correct.
July 15th is in the bill.
Right.
By that time that the governor makes those appointments. And we're not talking about the next governor coming in. We're talking about the current sitting governor today.
That's right.
That's what we're talking about, looking at that and making those appointments.
The only difference is the secretary will be the next governor.
Right. The secretary will come with the next governor. And let's talk about that.
And that's just a practical thing.
I understand.
You know, why would you appoint somebody and serve 3, 4, 5 months?
I understand. Let's talk about that secretary. Because when it first came up, I was looking at it, well, you have a cabinet level, right? But you have elected people. So how does a cabinet level person get to be over them? And I looked at it as a problem, but I think the way that you streamline the duties of that Secretary of Energy in this bill and the ability to have the check and balances gives me some pause to say that it's okay. Because I had some concerns about that.
And I did too when we first started and just the idea stage, throwing everything out there. But a couple of things, a couple of reasons why that I think it's good. Number one, we already have this model in other agencies and departments. So the spotlight, the press, the public, it's already on the secretary of this or that or the other. So that's already there. That person is directly responsible to the person that is elected statewide. So there's check and a balance there. I still wasn't comfortable. So what we looked at is, okay, what if that secretary just says, I'm not putting X, Y, Z on the agenda? Then the elected members can put whatever they want. They can do whatever they want to the agenda with a 5/7 vote. And similar to some type rules that we have here. So this secretary position does not have all the power. Yeah, the PSC has the final say. The elected members of the PSC have the final say. And not just on the agenda, but all of the items. The secretary doesn't have a vote.
Correct.
But the secretary gets up every day. And let me say this, we are in a different period than we have ever been in when it comes to energy. With all of the high demand uses that are out there that we have to accommodate, we have to look for. You know, we want economic growth. You know, if we're not growing, we're stagnant and we start dying. We need that growth, but we can't allow that growth to the detriment of the individual home ratepayer. They have to have affordable rates. If we don't do that, then we're canceling ourselves out. We're canceling our efforts out. So it's very important that we provide for growth, but also keep rates low.
Y'all care if I recognize some special guests in the gallery before they leave?
Mr. President, please do.
All right, thank you. Guest of Senator Price, the youth leadership from Claiborne and Leadership Claiborne in the gallery. If y'all could please stand. Welcome to the Alabama Senate. Great to have you today. Also, the guest of the Pro Tem, Senator Gudger, Miss Lindsay Dossey, and hosting the Coleman Youth Group from Coleman Electric Co-op, representing the high schools in Coleman County, Meade County System, and Addison School System. If y'all could please stand. Welcome to the Alabama Senate.
Go ahead, Senator.
So the Secretary of Energy also gave me pause because while it is unique, while we do have some similar systems set up, but this would have been one of the first that you would have a cabinet member who would be overseeing elected people.
True.
Usually, it's a cabinet member over an agency or appointed people that they will oversee. But when you get elected people, it's the power of the people, as we're calling this.
That's right.
Who should have the voice to say what they do or not just somebody at a cabinet level.
Well, and that's why we limited the duties in the bill to administrative and personnel.
That's why I got comfortable with it at.
Yeah, they do not have a say in the actual items to come before the PSC. They can't vote. They can't keep it off the agenda unnecessarily. If they try to, the PSC just overrules them and keeps going. So, you know, in a perfect world, we wouldn't have to have that check and balance. But we don't have a perfect world, so we have that check and balance in there. The PSC has the say on every item, and they are directly elected by the people, so that is how, in my opinion, we do put the power back to the people over their rates.
Yeah, and so I'm just, now with that, I think that the Secretary of the Energy will answer to the governor.
Correct.
And not to the elected members in their body.
Correct.
Almost like we got partner in parole. The director answers to the governor, not so much to the appointed members of the partner in parole.
It is similar.
And then does the same kind of administrative stuff that they would do to set the agenda, get things ready for the board as we see in partner. That's the closest I could see in terms of real time.
Well, and it's not unlike this body. Most of us have other jobs or other interests, but we need somebody who's getting up every day.
Yes.
Thinking about the Senate and what. So we have staff that do that for us. We have,
Yes.
we elect a pro tem to do that for us. So it's similar to a lot of different entities, but we hope that we've taken and we think we've taken the best of all those entities.
Yeah, I would. I have an amendment that I do want to, at the proper time,
I think now's a good time.
offer on this bill.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the amendment, please.
Amendment to Senate Bill number 360 by Senator Singleton. Replace line 199 on page 8 with the following. Replace line 206 through 207 on page 8 with the following.
All right, Senator Singleton.
Mr. President, what this amendment does, this amendment protects the current personnel and employees who are already serving. Because those people who are already serving in their capacity, these are state employees that are over there, have institutional knowledge of how the public service works. And we don't just want to put them in jeopardy of just wiping everybody out and starting all over new, and you don't have anyone with institutional knowledge. So this amendment, I think, helps protect those people who are already there, and we're just not throwing anyone out of their job.
Well, and I appreciated you bringing this to my attention because that was not the intent.
Yes.
But when I dug into it, they are technically appointed, unclassified employees of the PSC members.
Gotcha.
We will need to transition them to merit positions like all of other state government.
Correct.
That's what, once I looked into it, I was like, yeah, you're right. That we weren't trying to do anything with the employees. They need to be there. I mean, they have the institutional knowledge that will help educate these new board members to make good decisions. So I support your amendment. I appreciate you bringing it to us, and I would encourage everyone in the body to support it.
All right, do you want to speak on the amendment? You're recognized.
So, Senator, let me understand, I haven't read your amendment, but if what I understand from Senator Chambliss is that the current members have employees, and if in the upcoming election someone changes, if that were to happen, then the new PSC members should be able to get their own staff. So, I mean, how does that tie together?
Well, again, it's not enough staff to cover all 7 anyway. So we're just trying to protect the people there so that there is going to be room to bring on more people with the new folk, because there's not enough staff to cover all 7 that we're expanding to.
So, but what you're doing is you're tying the hands of the potential new PSC members, not the 4 new ones, but the 3 that we've got there. I mean, let's say, we're having an election, 2 of those could turn over this year. Are we tying their hands?
Yeah, but I mean,
work for them?
But if you look at the PSC, I know that some people have been working at the PSC for 20, 25 years.
Oh, I get it.
And so they, I guess the role is not the people who they will appoint maybe as their chief of staff. These are other people in the background who does research and do other stuff that a lot of these people have not turned over in years. And so we want to protect those people who have been there. And I think that when the employees that you're looking at, they're thinking that they will change, will probably be those more people like the chief of staffs and people who will be working directly with the commissioner themselves. Those are the ones that usually turns over.
Well, I mean, I get that the secretarial staff, maybe some of the research staff, shouldn't come and blow with the political winds, but, whoever's going to be the right-hand assistant for one of the commissioners should be able to.
I don't think this stops that. This doesn't stop that. They can still get what they want. This doesn't stop that.
All right. Thank you, Senator.
So with that, Senator, go ahead.
Yes. With that, Mr. President, I would like to have a motion to adopt the amendment, use the previous role without objection.
All right. Any objection to using previous role? All right. Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
33 ayes, 1 nay. The Senator Singleton amendment's adopted.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Mr. President. Thank you, body.
Senator Chambliss.
Thank you, Senator. Well, with that, I think we've gone over the details of the bill and explained it, and seeing no other questions, I would move for final passage using the long roll.
All right, Secretary, call the long roll.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss.
Aye.
Mr. Chasteen. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Melson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shelnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver. Mr. Williams. Mr. Woods.
Thirty-two ayes, 0 nays. Senate Bill 360 passes. Thank you, Senator Chambliss.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, members, and thank you for all your support and help, and Senator across the way of getting this bill so that we can get the power back to the people. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 20 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 265 by Senator Jones and others regarding tax abatements. BR pending.
Senator Jones.
Thank you, Mr. President. As we all know, data centers have become increasingly prevalent around the state, and I want to talk about this bill and what it does, but first, I'll move adoption of the BIR using previous role without objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
32 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 20 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 265 by Senator Jones and others regarding tax abatements. Committee amendment pending.
Mr. President, I have a new substitute, so at this time I'd move to table the committee.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Committee amendment's tabled. Now you have a substitute?
Yes, I'm going to go ahead and offer that.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the substitute, please.
Substitute for Senate Bill 265 by Senator Jones.
All right, Mr. President, this substitute, what it does, just for all the members to know, this is the House engrossed version of the companion bill, basically the full version that passed out of the House. We're just making that so where this bill mirrors the House bill. I'm happy to talk more in depth about the bill, but I know Senator Gavan, my colleague across the way, has a amendment to help with some of our existing incentives to make sure they're not affected. So I want to go ahead and get his amendment on if we can. So I'll yield to
Senator Gavan. You have an amendment?
I do.
We're on.
President.
Yeah, we got to adopt the sub first.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'd like to move to adopt using previous role without objection.
All right. Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
32 ayes, 0 nays. The Senator Jones substitute's adopted. Before we move on, I want to recognize some special guests in the gallery. Their guest of Jess Skaggs. It's his family. Charlana Skaggs, Charlie Skaggs, and Ridley Skaggs. Great to have you all today. If y'all could please stand. Welcome to Alabama Senate. And Charlie, great job catching this week. Saw some videos, man. Keep it up. All right.
On the PS.
Now you got an amendment, Senator Gavan?
Yes, I do, Mr. President.
All right, Secretary Reed, and receive the amendment.
Amendment to Senate Bill 265 by Senator Gavan. Replace lines 893 through 894 on page 32 with the following. Does it match the sub?
All right, Senator Gavan.
All right, Mr. President, Mr. President, if there are no questions, I'd move adoption of the amendment using the previous role.
Any objection? Hearing none. Okay, you want to come speak on the amendment? Yeah.
I'll answer your question if you want. So if I can address the Senator from Jefferson's question. So we have certain deals out there with data centers that we're just trying to protect those deals that the state of Alabama made and the local municipalities made. And that's all it does on this amendment, is to protecting those existing ones. And so I appreciate you bringing the bill. I think it's very important. I just want to honor the contracts that are out there.
Okay. All right. If there are no other questions on the amendment, I'd renew my motion to adopt using the previous role.
All right. Do you want to speak on them? Okay. All right. So on this amendment, any objection to using previous role? Any objection? Oh, you want to speak on this amendment? Okay. You're recognized. Got it.
Nation, because, I'm up in an area where there's a lot of discussion. These is data centers, right?
That's correct.
Oh, yeah. That's probably why she's up here, too. In our area, this is a big, actually, probably in her district. It is a big issue that's going on about these data centers up there. And it's a mixed reaction within our government up there, sort of split. Some want it, some don't. They want, in other words, sitting on the agenda to be considered by the city council is a moratorium to not have any more of these. They carried it over from their last meeting. So to give you an idea how we're kind of in the middle of all this here, our mayor does not want that, but right now the majority of the council, 5 of them, kind of lean into that. We got public, they've had public hearings, and the public is probably running about 70 to 30 not wanting it, okay? They're concerned, everybody know the concerns, water, electricity rate going up, and I want to compliment the body for passing that last bill, because I'm sure that's going to have a positive effect on that issue about electricity and whatnot. But I just so can you kind of tell me, based on the amendment and what impact that it's going to have on those issues that I just mentioned? Okay.
Well, Senator, thank you for the question.
I'll yield to this senator.
Yes, thank you, Senator. The amendment just helps with existing incentives and contractual obligations that are already on the table, and make sure that those are honored, so that in effect what we're doing moves the needle going forward for any new data center deals that come to the state.
That's the question.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. President. So the amendment, I think I'm gonna be okay on. My further question, and I know we're about to vote on the amendment, is I really want some clear understanding of what the House did to the bill. What are the changes from what you originally introduced versus what the House did?
I'm happy to give you those. Would you like to adopt the amendment, or do you like to go ahead?
It just depends on what the president wants to do, if we want to go ahead and move forward with
Let's go ahead and adopt the amendment, and then after that, all right, so the motion that we had was adopting the amendment using previous roll. Is there any objection to that? All right, hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
32 ayes, 0 nays. Senator Gavan, amendment's adopted. All right, now we're back on the bill.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're
So
recognized.
just the further explanation of what happened in the House with this bill.
So thank you, Senator. So the sub abates the state sales tax and use taxes up to 20 years. Current law is 30 years, while preserving intent to collect sales taxes on the building materials and construction after the initial build out. So that's one change. This is going to add new revenue to the general fund, and it allows for the continued exemption of sales and use taxes on operational IT equipment that must be refreshed regularly due to technological upgrades. It also includes something that was accidentally omitted, which is state non-educational ad valorem tax abatements.
That's it. That's the thing I was looking for.
Yep. They end once the property is put in service. Okay, so basically, this is all complicated, but in a nutshell, okay?
Oh, look, it's been a complicated conversation in my district for over a year.
Right. Alabama's incentives for data centers are about, we think, 15th in the nation. A little too sweet for my taste, maybe for some of yours as well. These data centers, they suck up a lot of energy, use a lot of power. There's only so much to go around, supply and demand. What happens if we don't have enough? Costs go up. So part of the affordability package of bills to help bring power rates down and further all of that, data centers are a huge piece of the puzzle. They're only going to become increasingly a larger share of the energy market moving forward. I was telling somebody the other day, you think about it, grandmama's all on, already gone up to heaven, but she's still got a Facebook account and all her data is still on it. And so where is that stored? It's in the cloud. So if you think about these data servers, the longer we go on, there's no end to the amount of data that I can see.
Sure. But if the gentleman will allow me, one of the issues, of course, that you just mentioned was the cost of electricity.
That's right.
That was one of the pieces from my own district. The fear that people have is an increased utility costs. Huge issue, in addition to water runoff and other things. But I just want to make sure that moving forward, that we do some things to also protect the environment. Now, I can't even take credit for this. My House member, Representative Tillman, loved that House member. He and I were talking about our overlapping district and the data center going into Bessemer, and then moving forward as a state, we need to start looking at brownfields, period. So in the event, I really hope we deep dive into this. So if they're going to continue to come into our state, we know that there are some pros and some cons. But if we already have brownfields areas that are already quote unquote dirty, let's look at those pieces of property. There are federal grants, there's a way to clean that up instead of having these whole other areas also where people have fear that the environment is being impacted in addition to their utility costs are going up. I just want to make sure, again, as we incentivize folks, that they are good community partners in the long haul. But thank you for your further explanation of what happened in the House and also the further explanation of the amendment itself. And with that, Mr. President, I have no further comment at this point.
Thank you, Senator.
All right. Senator Singleton.
Yes. I just want to make sure, and I heard what you're doing, and I think that this is a good deal, because I think even when we're talking about these data centers, they don't employ a whole lot of people. They're max maybe 80, 90 people in a data center. But they use up a lot of utilities. They use up, and I think that everybody look at electricity, but they use a lot of water also. And I think that cities and counties can make a lot of money off their commercial water uses by through this bill, by making sure that they are paying their fair shares of it. Because other states, like you said, we're sweetening the pie just to get them here. Alabama, we've been giving away everything just to get people here to us, but doesn't really grow our economy.
Right.
And that's what we've done. We've done it with the automaking industry because we've allowed temp work to come in and just take over of us. When we talk about workforce, when we got a big percentage of our folks just being temp workers, what does that give us in terms of the growth in our economy and being able to stabilize our economy? Because those jobs are not sure. People can go to work today, they might not be coming back tomorrow. They got to be out there looking for somewhere else, so they're back on unemployment again. And so we got to stop just giving away everything because these people are going to come. We got low tax rates here in the state. They're going to come here because of that. I visited a data center in a Carolina community, in a small community in South Carolina. They're getting almost $30 million in ad valorem taxes a year from a data center. It's changing the trajectory of that whole town and schools and parks and recreation and things that they could do that they never were able to do. And so I don't think we just should be giving it away. And so I heard some people, well, they're throwing money over here, they're throwing money. Yeah, but that's small. And I like what you're doing to make sure that those things that are non-educational, that we can still make sure that we get the benefit of the taxes from this, because if power bills goes up, if we get enough tax money, we might be able to set up a local fund to be able to help people who are struggling with their power bills, okay? I like the fact that we were able to work through our power generating companies in the last session and being able to give money to be able to have those transmission lines, to be able to build new power grids. So I think we can get to the point to where we can start putting them on their own grid. Then that way it's not on the same grid with households. Then you can definitely pinpoint the electrical process. In some states, early on, what they were doing was some of these power generating companies were building the big power grids for them, and then they were up and leaving. And when we're leaving now, that community got to pay for all of that power that was built. And I think that what we've been doing here in the state, methodically bringing them on, doing the things that we're doing now, doing it the right way. And that way, we can maintain them here in the state. They don't have to run out of our state, fly by nights. And I know the last amendment was about what they already have in place. And I'd like to bring the gentleman back up because I would like to know when those contracts are over that they already have in place, then they have to fall in line with what you have here.
That's right.
So
that's my understanding.
Is that the understanding of your amendment? If their amendment, if your deal that you have in place today I got you. Okay, good shot. All right, well, it answers my question then. So it does fall in line with where you are when they're finished with it, because I think they have a 10-year sunset on there.
That's right.
And so after that sunset, then they'll just fall in line with what the protection deal that he already has.
That's right, and I think this just puts us
I have
in
no
the
problem
middle
with
of the
that.
pack in terms of incentives. Average somewhere in the average range.
Yeah, and while I welcome them here, because I love to have one in my district. Don't get me wrong, I love to have one in my district. We're being able to get some of all these tax dollars. I got plenty of land, that's not around anybody. I got, got waterways right on these rivers I got running through the Black Belt. I got plenty of water for them. And I think that, I got a power generator over in my area. They're building a new power plant right now. I think I got it all for them, but y'all are getting them and I'm not. So I would just hopefully that, look at an area like the Black Belt, come into our area. We got good flat land, that we can do it, and we could definitely use, the revenue that is coming from, because I know that in one community, I heard a gentleman say that they went to build a new school, and the county commission asked, do y'all need help with the bond issue? They said, no, we can, based on the tax we're getting off of this data center, we can build it with cash.
Pretty impressive.
That's pretty impressive. And so they have a lot of value to them because they make a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, to pay the money that they would pay us is nothing comparative to what they're making through this data process and storing this data. Because I can remember back in the early 80s and the 90s, we were storing all of our banking information in South Africa every night.
Wow.
We were serving back in South Africa because we didn't have the data storage. India was one of the first ones who came up because India has been doing IT and fiber and stuff for many years way ahead of us in that country. So India, that's why they became one of the biggest IT hubs in the world. They did a lot of data storage and a lot of data over the years that was transferring data back and forward. And so now we're just beginning to catch up here in the United States and being able to do it on our own soil so we don't have to take our data and store it in other countries. That gives the possibility of it being affected, through some breakthrough, some hacking, somewhere else that we're not certain of what those storages are and how they're being protected, So now we're beginning to build them here in the United States, which is good for us. So I thank you for bringing this bill. I just want to make sure that we are maximizing our communities to get the most out of it, and we're not just giving it away just because they're coming to our community.
Right.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Senator.
All right, Senator Livingston.
Mr. President, I have an amendment.
Secretary Reed received the amendment.
Amendment to Senate Bill number 265 by Senator Livingston.
Mr. President.
Replace line 256 on page 10 with the following.
All right, Senator Livingston.
Mr. President, there's been a lot of conversation about data centers in here and what they do and what they don't do. We have a Google facility in Jackson County that, they talk about not employing a lot of folks. We're probably 225 to 230. Most of those jobs are direct jobs with Google. They're probably well over 100 a year in each one of those cases. And there's some jobs that come in for security and other things that are perhaps a little bit lower scale, but they're still good jobs for our area, and we like to protect those. They're in the process of trying to make an expansion up there, and I just hate for us to go back on a deal we've cut with them before and change this and go back. So this simply leaves it at 30 years. So they'll make an investment in our community and likelihood of with local utility board because they have to have an adequate supply of water. The local utility board sometimes might not be as well financed as financed as it could be. They're able to come in and assist in this instance, and not only for water, but sewer and other issues in that rate. So with that, I would offer the amendment. And
Mr. President, I want to speak to that. So I appreciate my colleague and what he's trying to do for his people in district, but I would just say I can't accept this amendment as friendly because what this will do is actually make our incentives better than they are right now for data centers. So if you want more data centers, you want this amendment because this makes the incentives better than they exist today. It is not going to help with affordability, which was the whole point of bringing the bill. If this amendment were to get on, I would have to just do away with this bill because it literally is the opposite of what we're trying to do here. So, Mr. President, with all due respect to my colleague, I move to table the amendment using voice vote.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Tabling motion fails. All right, Senator Livingston.
Mr. President.
No.
What?
Failed.
Mr. President, I'd move.
All right.
I move the amendment by using long roll.
All right. All right. Secretary, call the long roll.
Send a vote. Can y'all send a vote? They're catching the board up. Get the paper out. Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler.
Yeah, the vote, hold on a second. The vote is on the amendment right now, is what it needs to be voting on. Yeah. So.
Yes, cancel it. Start over. Yeah. You mean hit cancel, Sarah?
That's right.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chasteen. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Melson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shelnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver. Mr. Williams. Mr. Woods.
4 ayes, 22 nays. The Senator Livingston amendment 24 nays. Senator Livingston amendment fails.
Mr. President and Senator Jones, thank you very much.
Thanks, Senator Livingston. All right, Senator Jones.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. With that, if there are no further questions, move for final passage using the long roll.
All right, Secretary, call the long roll.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chasteen. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Melson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shelnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smithman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver. Mr. Williams. Mr. Woods.
30 ayes, 0 nays. Senate Bill 265 passes. Thank you, Senator Jones.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I'm starting a charitable fund for hearing aids.
Thank you. All right. Secretary, call next bill.
On page 20 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 270 by Senator Bell regarding electric utilities. BR pending.
Senator Bell.
Motion to adopt BIR, previous row, no objections.
All right. Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
30 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 20 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 270 by Senator Bell regarding electric utilities.
Senator Bell.
This sets forth the framework the Commission is to use when evaluating and approving contracts between utilities and large load data centers, but more importantly, confirming that the data centers are going to pay the cost and not the backs of the citizens that live around there. Puts the cost back on them. So motion, final passage, previous row, no objection.
All right. Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
30 ayes, 0 nays. Senate Bill 270 passes. Thanks, Senator Bell. Secretary, call the next bill on the calendar.
On page 26 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 47 by Senator Coleman regarding child support. BR pending.
Senator Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a bill that we've passed several years in a row when it comes to child support. After a child has been adjudicated or after paternity has been adjudicated, this allows for child support to go back in utero to 9 months, since, of course, the state of Alabama has passed in statute that life begins at conception. So, again, we've passed it several times before, and I move passage of the BIR using previous roll if there is no objection.
Do you want to speak on the BR?
No, I'm speaking on the bill.
All right. Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
30 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 26 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 47 by Senator Coleman regarding child support.
Thank you, Mr. President. I believe the gentleman has some comments on the bill.
I was just going.
Senator Smitherman.
I was going to wait till she moved and then be recognized.
Move final passage. Thank you. Move final passage of Senate Bill 47 using the previous roll without objection.
All right. Got a motion, final passage using previous roll. You want to speak on that motion?
Yes, sir.
All right. You're recognized.
Senator, how far you said you wanted to go back?
It goes back, if paternity has been adjudicated within the first year after the child has been born, it goes back into 9 months. It goes back once the child was conceived.
Or go back to being conceived?
Yes.
Okay. The reason I ask because prior to you coming to the Senate, I sponsored that bill and passed in the Senate to y'all. Y'all just didn't do nothing down at the House with it. So I wanted to just be correct that that's what it was because that's the way I had it set out in that particular bill myself. So I just wanted to be clarity because if it wasn't, then I was going to bring an amendment that was going to say what you actually are doing going back to that point.
Yes, well, thank you. And you've supported this legislation for the past 2 years in judiciary.
Well, I'm supported for the past 3 years. And
All righty.
I'm supported. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you. All right. Senator Barfoot, do you want to speak on this bill?
I do, just really briefly. I want to thank Senator for bringing this. As you said, you've championed it the last couple of years.
Yes.
It is a very good bill. As you said, it only applies to, it doesn't mean child support is inevitable. If a child support order is in place,
within 1 year.
Within 1 year of the birth of that child, then the courts can consider not only that 1 year after the birth, but the 9 months previous, in utero. So
exactly.
I would say and ask my members and urge the members here to support this piece of legislation. Thank you for being a champion.
And thank you so much for even helping me in committee that day. I had a wardrobe malfunction and you carried it for me. So thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Senator Barfoot.
Mr. President.
Senator Roberts.
I'd like to thank the sponsor also for bringing this. And I know it's been several years, and hopefully we can move that this year. But just the sheer acknowledgement that is a child in utero, I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Well, if the child ends up being a viable pregnancy, of course, and there's a child that is born, then of course those expenses don't start once the child is born. Those expenses started with hospital bills. They start, and now there is a gender reveal. There is a not only a baby shower. There is a pamper party. There are expenses to preparing for the birth of that live birth. And I'm glad you brought that point up because I believe it was Senator Weaver actually put an amendment on this bill last year that is in there now that says that this only applies if it results in a live birth.
Yes. Thank you very much, Senator.
Thank you.
All right, got a motion, final passage using previous role. Any objection? All right, hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
30 ayes, 0 nays. Senate Bill 47 passes. Thank you, Senator Coleman.
Thank you so much to the body.
All right, Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 53 of the calendar, Senate Bill 361 by Senator Gudger regarding dogs. BR pending.
All right, Senator Gudger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to make a motion for the BIR.
All right.
Use the previous roll without objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
30 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 53 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 361 by Senator Gudger regarding dogs.
Thank you, Mr. President. This particular bill deals with certain methods of tethering and confining a dog and whether certain minimum care is provided for dogs on the outside. As we move forward, we all know that we love our furry ones back home, and I've got two, so it's part of what we're doing. But if you've had time to read the bill, and thank y'all for supporting us on this as we move forward, but it's the first time in a long time that we've dealt with this. So I'd like to make a motion to have final passage of SB 361 using previous roll without objection.
Any objection? All right, hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
28 ayes, 1 nay. Senate Bill 361 passes. Also want to recognize some special guests in the gallery. The guest of Senator Gudger, Allison Black with the Humane Society of Birmingham. If you could please stand. Welcome to Alabama Senate. Great to have you today.
Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, Secretary, call the next bill on the calendar, please.
On page 54 of the calendar, Senate Bill 337 by Senator Stutz regarding school lands. BR pending.
Senator Stutz.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move passage of the BIR using the previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
28 ayes, no nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 54 of the calendar, Senate Bill 337 by Senator Stutz regarding school lands. Committee substitute pending.
All right, Senator Stutz.
Thank you, Mr. President. Before we get into talking about the bill, and I see I have a colleague across the way here that may want to discuss it, but there's some real technical parts of this bill, and there are statewide issues with it. This is only a local bill, and we had to do a lot of digging in the weeds to find out exactly what tracts of land were involved and work with the Department of Conservation. And so I want to publicly thank Charlotta Skaggs for helping with all that. I know she's up in the gallery and saw her up there, and I just wanted to tell her thank you for all your help with sorting out all the details of this bill, because there were several. But if you're wanting to dialogue about the bill, I'll be glad to talk to you about it. Otherwise, move for passage.
So we're on the committee substitute right now. Ready to adopt it?
I'd like to talk about it.
All right, you want to talk about the substitute?
Yeah, what does a substitute do different from what the bill does?
Well,
I don't really know what the bill does. This morning, I saw you working hard this morning early.
Yeah.
You were standing right outside my office, and I actually told somebody, I said, he must be getting ready to come in here so he can tell me about some stuff. But somebody distracted you.
But,
You were there. You were this close to where I wouldn't have to come
I
up
got
here.
cut off.
Yeah, so tell us about it.
What this bill does is, I think we've talked about it before, but the Section 16 lands all over the state.
Can I help you out a little bit?
Yes, sir.
You can stop right there. Just tell me the difference now in the amendment, because I've been informed of that.
Okay.
About,
Okay.
because there's some
What
land
we
over
had
in
to-
Fayette County, that somebody in Russell has by that has an interest in all that. So I understand what you're trying
got all
to do.
that. Okay, what the substitute did is clarify exactly what parcels of land it was, and then there was some confusion about whether the Department of Conservation could sell the land and give the proceeds to Franklin County, or whether they actually deeded the land to Franklin County. So what this substitute does is it clarifies exactly what tracts of land are involved that are only owned by Franklin County, and then it gives the Department of Conservation the authority to deed the land to them and not to actually sell the land.
All right, thank you very much.
Any other questions about
I have no other questions.
All right. Got a motion to adopt the substitute using previous rule. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
Thirty ayes, 0 nays. The committee substitute's adopted. All right, Senator Stutz.
Mr. President, I move for final passage of the bill as substituted using the previous row.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered. You object? All right, you want the long roll? All right, Secretary, call the long roll.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chasteen. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Melson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shelnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz.
Aye.
Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver. Mr. Williams. Mr. Woods.
30 ayes, 1 nay. Senate Bill 337 passes. Thanks, Senator Stutz.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
Yes, Senator
I'd
Melson.
just like to take a moment of personal privilege.
You're recognized.
Sometimes a doctor needs a dose of his own medicine. Thank you.
All right. All right. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 61 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 359 by Senator Price regarding Chambers County. BR pending.
Senator Price.
Thank you, Mr. President. As for the BIR with previous roll, please.
All right. Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
31 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 61 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 359 by Senator Price regarding Chambers County.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill is basically like a local bill that will be helping our volunteer firemen in Chambers County as far as some additional revenue for them. And we have taken the provisions within the legislation to where the municipalities and water authorities that already have paid fire departments will be able to opt out to where it will not actually affect as far as their citizens or customer base and only be able to benefit as far as our true volunteer firemen. With that, do you have a question?
Yeah, I like what I'm hearing. So you're saying are they going to get money from the water authorities now?
No, what this is a 2 mil tax for that.
Oh, it's a
yes,
tax.
It's what it is.
So is it a constitutional amendment?
It is a
So you need
yes.
21 votes on this one?
Yes.
I got you. Okay.
Yes.
So it's a CA.
It is a CA.
So it's a 2 mil tax, and that 2 mil tax is going to go to your volunteer fire department?
Go to those volunteer fire departments.
I got you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. If there's not any other questions, I call for the final passage using previous roll.
All right. Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
Thirty ayes, 1 nay. Senate Bill 359 passes. Thanks, Senator Price.
Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 46 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 292 by Senator Orr regarding real property. BR pending.
Senator Orr.
Move adoption of the BIR using the previous roll.
All right. Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
Thirty ayes, 1 nay. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
Page 46 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 292 by Senator Orr regarding real property. Committee substitute pending.
Senator Orr.
Mr. President, move adoption of the substitute using the previous roll.
I'm sorry, what now? All right. Any objection to using previous roll? All right, hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
31 ayes. No nays. The committee substitute's adopted. Senator Orr.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd yield to the gentleman across the way.
Senator Gavan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I know the senator has worked very diligently over the off season and working with the various interested parties in real estate transactions. And I've been part of those conversations too. Unfortunately, I have not had an opportunity to read this substitute. And this is my field, and I actually am on the Uniform Law Commission deed fraud study. We'll be having our first meeting in-person meeting in Chicago in April sometime, probably right after we adjourn. You know, some of the concerns that I've got about this bill are that, it's all in the details. And of course, unfortunately, I hadn't had a chance to review all the details. On line let's see, on page 10, starting in line 258, after the Securities Commission gets a complaint, and it goes on line 261 to say any proceeds derived from the fraudulent conveyance may be ordered to be forfeited and deposited in the title. Now, it does say may, but one of the concerns I've got is that there's be something besides what may be construed as strict liability. I can envision a situation where someone, an attorney, does not do any of the title work, so he's not the settlement agent, maybe doing nothing but representing the lender in the transaction, and they've not caused any harm there. They've just done their services, done their work, and they're subject to disgorgement there. Also, the agent that's a listing agent should have the onus on them, not the selling agent. The listing agent's the one that went and signed up somebody that didn't own the property, somebody that's sitting on a computer in Uzbekistan somewhere, or Ukraine. And I mean, this is a serious issue, and people have been defrauded. Fortunately, we've had some people that have been able to head things off. They're getting better about it. But it is a problem. But I mean, I just don't want to. There are a lot of obviously most of the transactions, knock on wood, so far I hadn't had one. Hope I don't have one. And not so much of it happens in the commercial arena. I just think the details matter.
Mr. President, seeing that the gentleman has not read the substitute, I would move to carry over SB 292 to the call of the chair.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered. Senate Bill 292 is carried over to call of the chair. Thanks, Senator Orr.
Thank you, Senator Orr.
All right, Senator Gudger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate the recognition. Ladies and gentlemen, we've had a heck of a week. I want to start off, and I don't think he's out here, but Senator Albritton bringing us the general fund budget and all the work that went into that. I think we owe him another round of applause for bringing that to us. Number two, we had Power to the Power to the People Act today. We went back and forth on that to make sure that we help reduce utility bills. We provide stability for 100 years to come, and we're doing the right thing for the people. And I know that because when everybody's a little mad on each side of the big utilities, and we right down the middle, we know that we did the right thing. And so I'm happy with us where we are on that, and I think it's a great bill. And I want to say thank you to Senator Clyde Chambliss. If he's in here, if he's not, let's give him a round of applause. I've got something I want to read, if you don't mind, if I take a personal point of privilege, Mr. President. My son the other day asked me in the car, Dad, what's your biggest flex you've ever had in politics? And I said, it's really not politics, son, but let me tell you about it. So I wrote this down. It says, the real flex is how many lives you can positively impact. It's not about cars. It's not about clothes. It's not about clout. Influence means nothing if you're not willing to help somebody grow. The legacy you leave won't be measured by what you had, but by all who you've helped. Real power is when your presence inspires action. Real power is when your story sparks change. Real power is when your content shifts someone's mindset and helps them unlock a new level. If you want to be remembered, ladies and gentlemen, make people feel seen, make people feel heard. Always share what you've learned. Always lift others up as you climb. The impact you make on others will outlive every material thing you chase. That's the difference between popularity and purpose. You weren't called just to win. We were all called to lead. And the real leaders build more leaders. That's the real flex. And that's the answer I'm going to give my son. But thinking through that, I think of everybody that has helped us through this week and before then, and everybody that's on this floor that's ran for election and running statewide, and all that we put the time and effort, but we're in the arena, marred with the blood, sweat, and dust that we've got to do to make the state of Alabama the best place we can do. And I just want to tell you, I'm thankful for each and every one of you, and thank you for us working as a team to make sure the people of Alabama know that we're doing the right thing for them. So I just want to say thank you.
Mr. President,
Senator Singleton, you're recognized.
if the pro tem is finished. Yeah,
Yeah,
Mr. President, I rise for a point of personal privilege also and say, I want to thank you, Mr. Pro Tem, for the work and working with you and your staff throughout this week to try to make some things happen. The power to the people comes because we work together through diversity, through the fact that we all want to see Alabama as one. I want to thank Senator Linda Coleman for her foresight in terms of how this bill shaped. And also Jack Williams from the other side, who also had talked to me about that. And I think that it's so interesting how like minds just come together. And then when you put the final touch, and Clyde put the final touch on it, and the amendments and all that came to make this better, I think that the state of Alabama, as they see it, gonna see that we did the right thing. Not tried to do the right thing, but we did the right thing to make sure that all of the people of the state of Alabama have a voice. That's what's important. And I thank you for your leadership, and we want to continue to work together to see can we do the best for our people.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. I appreciate that.
All right, thanks, Senator Singleton. Senator Gudger, appreciate your leadership.
Thank you, Mr. Lieutenant Governor. And without you, we wouldn't be able to do all that we do, and thank you. Having said that, one House message real quick, housekeeping message, excuse me, is just a chairman's meeting upstairs upon adjournment. And with everything said, motion to adjourn until 2:30 on March 17th, leaving the journal open to accept House messages.
I'm sorry, Senator Gudger, I'm having a hard time hearing. What'd you say? I'm just kidding. Y'all heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We stand adjourned.